Well, hello, friends. Today we're going to be working with our T, and we're going to be joining this upstroke letter to other T's, and we're going to be joining it with the I. So, as always, we're going to draw that line that's going to be our baseline, the ground, and we're going to have these beautiful lines to write upon. There we go. There are my lines for today. Now, as we're working on these upstroke letters, we want to remember that we have to swoop out in order to connect it to the next letter. So I'm going to start on the bass line, on the ground, and I'm going to go up halfway upstairs. And I'm going to start with a review of the letter I. I start on the ground and I swoop up. There's my upstroke right there. So with this basic stroke right here, we're going to turn this into two different letters. We start on the ground and we go upstairs, downstairs, and out. Dot the I. Again, upstairs, downstairs, swoop out, dot the I. Now, if I want to join these I's, say to a letter T, that would be a wonderful idea. I'm going to need this upstroke. But before I can join it to the letter T, let's go ahead and make some T's. I'm going to start, and I'm going to use the same stroke over here, but I'm going to go up higher. I'm going to go all up to the roof this time. So here we go. I'm going to start on the ground, and I start on the ground. I swoop. I go up to the roof. There you go. It's still the same stroke. I just made it go further. See, it's still the same. I just threw that one further up to the roof instead of halfway. So again, I start on the ground and I go up to the roof, back down to the ground, and swoop out. Now I cross my T. Now over here I've got these I's, and you notice where I cross the T, it's about the same height. I could take another piece of paper and I can lay it across there, and you can see that they're almost touching. Where I cross the T is right about where I put the dots. I use the other letters as I'm writing as guidelines, as benchmarks to give me an idea of how high I should be making my letter that comes after it. Now I want to join this T with another letter. Well, I've got my swoop here, and I'm going to use it to go into my next letter. So let's go ahead and say I wanted to write the word it. I-T. I-T. It. Notice how they're the same height. Where I cross and the end of the top of the T is about the same. I'm always paying attention to that. So I start on the ground, and I'm going to write my I, then I'm going to join it to the T. And so let's see what we get. I start on the ground, and I swoop upstairs, downstairs, swoop up into the T, go all the way up to the roof, come back down to the ground, and swoop out, dot the I, cross the T. It. Well, if I wanted to write, let's see, something had two T's in it. Let's see, something that's got two T's in it. Boy, I can't think. Oh, the word little. Well, I don't know all the letters in cursive yet. We've only gone over two. So how would I write this? Well, I would go ahead and print the L. And then I'm going to write the letters I know in cursive. So here's my L. Start on the ground. I go upstairs. I go downstairs. I go up to the roof. Back down to the ground. I go back up to the roof. Back down to the ground and swoop out. My next letter is an L in little, and I haven't learned that. So I'm just going to make another print L and then the E. So I've got a word that's got both cursive, and print in it. And here's the word little. That looks kind of weird, Mr. Tremblay, I guess. So I'll write it in print underneath it so you can see it better. L-I-T-T-L-E. Little. And since I know how to put the I and the T's in cursive, I went ahead and did that. As you're writing, you should start doing that too. The letters that you would normally write in print that you know how to write in cursive, start writing them in cursive. Hey, that's good practice. Eventually, you'll be writing everything in cursive, and you're going to find that if you're doing this, it'll speed up your handwriting quite a bit. All right, so let's look at how we join it on lined paper, because when we're joining them and we're looking at it on really big blank paper like that, it's good to see how the letters are formed, but we've got to look at how big they're going to look really on paper. So today, I'm going to write my name across the top. I'm going to put my name. Joe Tremblay. And I'm doing this in print. Well, why didn't you do it in any of it in cursive, Mr. T? Mr. Tremblay doesn't have a lowercase I or a lowercase t in his name anywhere. So I didn't write it in cursive, or else I would have written some of that in cursive. Now, I'm going to skip a couple lines, and then I'm going to put a number 1. I'm going to put a little parentheses next to it so it makes it look neat. And next to that, I'm going to write the letter I. That means on this line, I should have some I's. I'm going to scoot over a little bit, and I'm going to practice some I's. And I need to have 10 I's on this line. See where I put times 10 over here? On that line, there should be 10 I's. I'm going to go down to the next line. I'm going to skip, and I'm going to make a number 2. And on this line, I'm going to put 2 I's in print right next to each other. And I should have times 5. I should have at least 5 pairs of double I's. I'm going to go down to the next line. Line number 3. I'm going to go ahead and put my print T. That gives me an idea of what I'm doing on this line. And on this line, I should have 10 printed T's. I go down, skip a line to number 4, and I'm going to have my double T's. Wow. 2 T's. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to have at least 5 of those. My next line, oh my gosh, Mr. Tremblay, we're writing so much. Well, we're in 3rd grade now, boys and girls. I'm going to write the word it. All right, and I'm going to write the word it 5 times. So, at the top, I'm going to scoot over a little bit, and I'm going to start on the ground. I'm going to go upstairs, downstairs, and out. Dot the I. There's my cursive I. One more time, and you know it helps to say it in, out loud. But after you know it and you said it enough times, and you can hear this voice in your head saying, "Start on the ground, upstairs, downstairs, and out." Dot the I. When you hear that enough times that you don't need to say it out loud, you can say it in your head as you're doing it. All right. Eventually, you're going to know it, and you're not even going to have to think about it. You just be able to do it automatically. The double I's. Start on the ground, upstairs, downstairs, upstairs, downstairs. Swoop out, dot the I's. Upstairs, downstairs, upstairs, downstairs, dot the I's. 5 times. I did it twice already. The T. Start on the ground, to the roof, back down to the ground, cross the T. One more time. Start on the ground, and I'm going to swoop up to the roof, back down to the ground, swoop out, cross the T. There you go. I'm going to do that 10 times. double T's. Start on the ground, up to the roof, back down to the ground, to the roof, back down to the ground, swoop out, cross the T's. One more time. Start on the ground, to the roof, back down to the ground, to the roof, back down to the ground, swoop out, cross the T's. I did it twice already. I only have to do it 5 times. Finally, the word it. Start on the ground, swoop upstairs, back down to the ground, to the roof, back down to the ground, swoop out, dot the I, cross the T. Again, start on the ground, upstairs, downstairs, to the roof, back down to the ground, swoop out, dot the I, cross the T. That's how we do this. Joining the T's and the I's is one of the easier letters in cursive because you're just taking this swoop right here and swinging up into the next letter. Okay, so when you're finished with this, make sure you have your name on it. I hope you've got some good practice there, and I will see you around the desk.